That's cool, dude.
Amazing?
What is it?
It's like a tube. It's like
What?
a giant thing, and then they burn it. It's like crazy.
No way.
Yeah.
That is cool. God, look how small she is compared to
I
that.
have the
It's
whole thing.
enormous.
It's amazing. And they light it from the inside.
It's a word. It was on film, so it's a word.
Oh, that's my daughter.
Cute. Hey everybody, it's Brendon Burchard. I'm author of the New York Times bestselling book, The Motivation Manifesto, and founder of High Performance Academy. My whole focus in life is to figure out how can we help you become more motivated and courageous so that you can accomplish your dreams and serve the world.
And I'm Dr. Mark Hyman. I've written 8 New York Times bestsellers. The last one.
8!
8.
Golly, man.
The last one's the 10-day detox diet about how to deal with food addiction. Recently contributed to the movie Fed Up, which is a powerful indictment of the food industry and the power of sugar addiction. And I'm also the director of the Cleveland Clinic Center for Functional Medicine, which is the science of creating health.
And he wouldn't say it, but I'll say it. He's also been Bill Clinton's doctor. He's probably the most influential health educator, I think, in the space today, period, and also has inspired me tremendously, so it's an honor to be here with him, and I'll try not to make any jokes because that's the way I usually deal with like the discomfort of being around my heroes, but it's been an honor to be here. The Motivation Manifesto is a manifesto because I think we needed a clarion call that was stronger, more courageous, and more directive in self-help. We've gotten into probably 2 or 3 decades in the self-help genre that took off course of what the self-help genre was originally about, which when you read things back in the day of Stoicism or all the way up to the freedoms clarion call of the founding fathers of the US, when people talked about personal development, it was very philosophical and it was very strong. It was a challenge to us to rise to our highest good, to rise to our highest selves. And then we got into a bunch of conversations that self-help magazines and self-help books became basically articles about, here's a very extraordinary rich yoga mom and she has all the reasons in the world to be happy, but she's not, and let's talk about that. And I thought that's not what most of the world is dealing with. Most of the world is dealing with 2 real enemies. We are dealing with self-oppression, which is the parts of us that the parts of us that generate fear and doubt that keeps us back from achieving our dreams. And we're dealing with social oppression, the judgments, the prejudices, or the tyranny that is keeping us down from our social circle or from a larger social community. And in other parts of the world, that's a real thing. I mean, there are still parts around the world, because I have a global readers, our global readership, they're really dealing with political tyranny.
Poverty.
They're dealing with poverty. They're dealing with lack of education, but they're dealing with a system or a group or a community that's keeping them down. And the whole book about Motivation Manifesto is how do we help people accomplish and reach their personal freedom? And I define personal freedom as something in which we feel like we can truly, fully, and freely express who we truly are, authentically, spontaneously, and consistently, and that we feel like we can pursue our dreams without restriction. Restriction from other people who are judging us, our family, our friends, or society, and without restriction from ourselves, our limiting beliefs, or the stuff we just can't get over internally. So the whole book is this battle, and when I wrote the word manifesto, I said that's what this is the manifesto. It's a clarion call. It's a battle against these 2 enemies. We're going to take down that concern we have inside that says I'm worried about the judgment of other people, and I'm going to take down those things internally that keep me fearful and doubtful and away from pursuing my own dreams. And I think you have to bring back a different kind of language and tonality and pentameter in writing to actually make that come to fruition. My editor hated it. They really hated it. They actually turned it down.
Wow.
I don't know if Forbes broke the story on this just last week from the time of this filming, where Simon Schuster had given me a $2 million book deal, and this was wrapped up in that book deal. And they said, we don't get the book. It's too strong. And it sounds like you're writing from 1776. This feels like the founding fathers. This feels like Jefferson and Madison and Adams or Lincoln and JFK and Martin Luther King. People don't talk like that anymore. I go, that's the problem.
Right.
This is not a book about like OMG. This is a book about revolutionizing your life. Let's go serious here.
Yeah.
So they didn't get it. So Simon Schuster says, we don't get it. Modernize the voice, add more stories, more of those yoga mom stories.
Right.
Otherwise, give us our money back.
Wow.
So it was like, they didn't do anything illegal, but I call it editorial blackmail.
Right.
And I said, I can't do that. So gave them 7 figures essentially back of what would be my revenue essentially, and said, I believe in the message of this book, I believe in the voice, of this book. We launched the book. It was #1 on Barnes & Noble 2 weeks straight, premiered on the New York Times bestseller list 2 weeks straight.
They're kicking themselves now.
Wall Street Journal bestseller, USA Today bestseller. It crushed it. Pre-sold 68,000 copies right out of the hat. But I share all that because it's a manifesto. Part of that manifesto is you have to follow your voice. You have to follow your dreams despite the restrictions. I was scared. I had to keep following that voice and that dream. I was getting pushback and financial pressure from this organization and frankly from my family and other people too who were scared about my future turning away from a major publisher. But it was my art and it was my dream. And that is why the manifesto had to stay true. I was scared, but I had to live the message of the book. And so I hope that people, when they read it, they feel that verve and that vibe in this book going, damn, I need to revolutionize my life and stand up for who I am and what I desire of life. And if they do that, I think we've accomplished something amazing.
You know, I think most people don't believe they can feel good. Most people don't know they're just a couple of days away from health and happiness, that the way they live, the way they eat, how they care for their bodies or don't, is actually connected to how bad they feel. You know, I always joke and I say people have what I call FLC syndrome. That's when you feel like crap. And it's so common and people think it's normal, but it's not. And so what I want to find out for people to find out is how do they empower themselves to make a change so that in a few days they can see how close they are to health and happiness. And that's why I wrote the 10-Day Detox Diet, which is a very simple plan for 10 days to change your diet, to change a few simple habits, to learn a few simple self-care strategies, and a way to design your life so that you can recreate health. It's really rebooting your body. Think of it like resetting. When your computer goes around and around and you can't get the programs to work, you just have to turn it off and restart the whole thing. It's like that. You literally reset. You change your hormones, you change your biochemistry, you alter your brain chemistry, you change your immune system, and it happens quickly. You know, we had 600 people do this program, and we thought, you know, they would lose weight. We knew that was true. They lost 4,000 pounds in 10 days.
Between the 600 people?
Yeah, they lost, about, 2 inches off their waist on average, about 20 points drop in blood sugar, 10 points in blood pressure. But what really struck me was they had a 62% reduction in all symptoms from all diseases in 10 days. And whether it was migraines or asthma or acne or irritable bowel or reflux or joint pain or fatigue or insomnia, they got better simply by changing the way they cared for their body, by putting in the right food. What I say is food is medicine. And when you use food as medicine and take out the bad medicine and put in the good medicine, your body heals really quickly. So I just really want people to understand how close they are to feeling good. And I had a couple come to me the other day and they said they lost 165 pounds after reading my book by simply changing the way they ate. This one guy was on he lost 106 pounds and he was on 15 medications and now he's on none. And he didn't need to go see a doctor. I believe in what we call self-health is where you can actually take control of your own health and practice self-care in a way that allows you to take back your health, take back your body, and take back your life.